Hi team, welcome to the numbers game. I'm Coach T, and in this tutorial we're going to be finding the tangent acceleration, normal acceleration, velocity, and speed. Now before we get started, make sure to subscribe to the channel for notifications on more math tutorials. Alright, now let's take a look at this example. Our example says, given the position vector e raised to t cosine of t, e raised to t sine of t, e raised to t at time t equals 0, find the tangent and normal acceleration with velocity and speed. So first I'll write a list of things we're being asked to find. That is tangent acceleration, normal acceleration, velocity, and speed. And we need to find all of this at time t equals 0. Next, I'm going to write a couple of formulas that we'll start with. The first formula is for velocity, which equals the derivative of the position vector. The next formula is for acceleration. Acceleration equals the second derivative of the position vector. Now, of course, we're being asked to find a lot more than the velocity and the acceleration. However, these are two good formulas to start with. And I'll introduce the other formulas that we'll need as the time to actually use them gets closer. Alright, so let's start off with velocity and acceleration. So we'll start with the position vector, and as we stated earlier, the velocity is the first derivative of the position vector. This means that velocity equals the derivative of e raised to t cosine of t. This is e raised to t times cosine of t minus e raised to t times sine of t. Next, the derivative of e raised to t sine of t. This gives us e raised to t sine of t plus e raised to t cosine of t. And then the derivative of e raised to t is e raised to t. Earlier, we also went over acceleration, which is the second derivative of the position vector. Now, this is going to be a pretty long derivative, so I'm going to fast forward through this. Feel free to watch the whole thing if you want to see what work I did, or you can just skip ahead. And here is our acceleration. It is negative 2 e raised to t times sine of t, 2 e raised to t cosine of t, and e raised to t. Now in our example, remember we were given time as t equals 0. So we're going to plug 0 into velocity and acceleration. For velocity, we have 1, 1, 1. For acceleration at 0, we have 0, 2, 1. So we've got some good information here. We found number 3, which is velocity, and we found acceleration, but of course, acceleration is not the same thing as tangent acceleration and normal acceleration. However, we can use acceleration to find those two things. Now, before we do solve for tangent acceleration and normal acceleration, there's some low-hanging fruit here, and that's speed. Speed equals the magnitude of the velocity. This is pretty easy for us to solve. That's just going to equal the square root of 1 plus 1 plus 1, and that gives us a square root of 3. So boom, we just solved for speed. So now let's focus our attention on tangent and normal acceleration. Let's take a look at the formulas for tangent acceleration and normal acceleration. Here is the formula for tangent acceleration, and here is the formula for normal acceleration. We see that the formula for normal acceleration actually has tangent acceleration in it, and so clearly we're going to need to solve for tangent acceleration first. So for tangent acceleration, we have acceleration dot velocity over velocity dot velocity, and this entire fraction is dot velocity. We get 2 plus 1 in the numerator, that gives us 3, over 1 plus 1 plus 1 in the denominator, so that's over 3, dot our velocity vector, and of course this just equals vector 1, 1, 1. So that's our tangent acceleration. And now for normal acceleration, we have acceleration minus tangent acceleration, and this equals negative 1, 1, 0. So again, we've got our tangent acceleration and we've got our normal acceleration. And there you have it. We found the tangent and normal accelerations, we found the velocity, and we found speed. If this video was helpful for you, give it a thumbs up, like it, drop a comment down below, and also subscribe to the channel for notifications on more math tutorials. I'm Coach T, and thanks for watching The Numbers Game.